Okay, what's up guys? Back with another devlog update for Skeleton Hell, the working title of the game that we're working on. A couple of minor quality of life updates with this one. First and foremost, starting off is in order to get the builds working for playtesting, I worked a little bit on making it so that you can join a game via an IP address instead of yeah, I guess we've been doing most of our playtests through Unity, so with this new update, it'll be easier for other people to play the game and try it on their own time. All they have to do is do a little bit of port forwarding, start the game as a host, and then people will be able to join the game. In addition, there's some firewall things that might need to happen too, but it'll be a good kind of intermediary while we're still debating on if we're going to take the game to Steam, and if we do that, then yeah, getting the Steam working as an alternative to this. I think the issue is that right now the Steam does not quite work if we try to do builds for some reason. I don't think it's configured to work like that. But haven't done a lot of research into it, but just have this working in the meantime since it wasn't working. So here we go. So this is our tutorial area. As you see, when you start out, you have no bones. I still have to update the graphics, but I'll just quickly kind of run through here and go through the same tutorial. Maybe I'll skip some of the things actually, but I did want to show a little bit of like the new environment now that it's closed off, so I'm not just hopping across. Instead of doing the super jump across the map, I actually added a new command that pretty much just allows us to TP to some of the portal locations that we've specified here. So one way that I could get there is just by going through the tutorial, doing the usual, but an alternative, let's see if I can grab the bone. Oh, that's another bug. So just right there, that's a bug to fix. Sometimes the bones disappear when they've been thrown. Maybe that's a feature Evan added. Anyways, let's go ahead and set our bones back to 6 for now, so I don't have to deal with that. So I have this still much the same, but alternatively, what I did was I made these holes actually function, so if you were to fall in, then it will actually go ahead and respawn you. This is, of course, showcasing Evan's new "You Are Dead" little image there, so that's fun. Yeah, so here we are back at this main area here. So before I enter, let me go ahead and grab my friend, I think. Actually, I don't need him for this. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into the Sanctum. So this is the new Sanctum. Only did a couple of changes in terms of like having the walls include these lights. As you can see, there are some issues with rendering the lights on the walls, so that's something to be kind of figured out. I think could be due to the number of lights, might be too many, so I have to kind of mess around with that. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. I'll go ahead and jump up here to quickly run through to get to some of the new things. So one feature that was added, two main features that were added, the organ collection and the just a small procedural puzzle that I threw in here. So what we'll find is that we see these new strange mysterious braziers or braziers. I'm not sure how to actually pronounce it, but they're just kind of these like little hanging light flame pits basically. And so one of the puzzles that oh my god, every time it's going to happen in every devlog. One of the puzzles that I threw in here is that, oh, you see this gated wall spawn, but there's an organ behind it. How are we actually going to get to the organ if we can't get through the wall? Well, using this small hint here that I have for now, but will be very much refined in the future, hopefully it gives you the intuition to come over here, throw your bone, which triggers a change in that brazier somehow, and boom, the gate is open. And we collected our organ. Very cool. So, adding more puzzles like this is something I would like to do more of. Yeah, so for now I just have that one. Have a couple of other ideas. A couple of other ideas to implement too, in addition to that. As we see with that kind of organ that gets collected and it makes the cool sound, that's kind of the objective of the game now, is to, it always has been the objective, but now it's a little bit more solidified in this devlog video. So we can go in and collect all these organs that are either randomly spawned in the Sanctum or locked behind these fences. And so pretty much we go through here, we unlock them all, collect all the organs. Such a satisfying sound, but I think it's a bit long. And once we collect all the organs, we can come here and continue progressing upwards into the Sanctum. So let me take this time now to go ahead and catch our buddy up, who's still at the spawn. So instead of having to go through the whole tutorial area, I'm just going to go to teleport to ID, and I think I'm going to send him to 1. And that'll put him right in the Sanctum, and I'll put him at 6 bones. And I think if I wanted to get to the level that I'm at, I could, but I don't quite know. I don't quite remember the IDs for all the different locations. So anyways, I'll just catch him up here. Didn't get a chance to show off the bone clams, but here's one. Maybe I can pull it up on the big screen here. So on each level, a bone clam will now spawn. And essentially what the bone clams are doing is something that Evan coded a while back, is they are basically providing bones for the players. So players can come over to the bone clam, wait for it to kind of open its mouth. You can see a bone's in there, and you can essentially collect that bone. So that's pretty much how they work. Sometimes you gotta be quick. Make sure you grab it in time. So bone clams are here. Let's see if we can find the rest of our organs really quickly. So one thing that is also added is that if you, oh my gosh, if you collect an organ, in order to kind of prevent someone from hogging all the organs, right now I have it just so that it does not allow you to collect organs that you've already gathered. So instead, I'll bring our buddy up here and go ahead and collect the heart. Yay, so now both hearts have been collected, but we still have a liver around here somewhere. We have some stomach. The other pair of lungs is just over here. And a brain, oh my god. Cool. So all these lungs are found throughout the Sanctum in different spots, but in order to not reveal everything, I think I'll stop collecting them for our second player now, and instead just kind of get everyone to the ending area, which is where you go once you have collected everything and you're ready to ascend into the overworld, basically. Oh, perfect. I got the stomach along the way. Okay, so the ending area, let's see. On this floor, yep, and here's the, I can kind of show maybe the puzzle from this perspective before I go into the ending area here. So I'll have my player 1 look at the puzzle door, and then I'll have player 2 go through this Sanctum and try to find where, oh where, that last brazier might be. Yeah, definitely want to work on more placements and making the environments a little more interesting. Right now they're just kind of alright, just kind of placeholder. Oh my god, it was right here behind me, I didn't notice. So player 2 throws the bone, and boom. They're now able to access, which is a liver in here. Cool. So yeah, so now we can come into kind of this last ending area. So we enter here, and we're hit with this large ominous room, and we see some glyphics on the wall there, some like really, ideally some really trippy stuff. So as we can see with both of our players, our first player has all 5 organs, but our second player only has 3 of them. So the room right now blocks the second player from getting in because they don't actually have all the organs needed to ascend. They're still in skeleton hell. And this is the amount of time they have left. Still messing around with how that will be portrayed. But instead, this first player can kind of come straight through here and enter this area that's blocked off. So really cool, kind of changes based on, pretty much is controlled based on like entry based on who has enough bones to leave, or enough organs to leave, and who doesn't. There is something on the other side of this wall, but I will not reveal it as for surprise purposes, and it's not really too relevant to the devlog. With this room, I thought it would be cool to include like a timer so that people would know how much time they have left. This could either be cool to include in like the main hub area where players spawn, or in this room where you are trying to ascend, so you can constantly come back here and check to see how much time you have left. As you can see, the time's getting real short now. I want to say that's like 20 seconds or so. I think it's less than 20 seconds. Nothing happens at the end of the timer yet, unfortunately, other than you are dead. So it's a good thing I made it here just in time to see that. And this would be interesting to show you kind of like who's alive and who's dead. So if you run out of skeleton respawns, for example, right now I'm thinking like 6 respawns, then you can come here and check and see like, oh, this is who died. Again, this might be something that's better in the hub area, or it might work well here as you're towards the exit. And when you find it, you can check on the status of the other players. So lots to think about here, lots of different options. Cool. So I'll hop back into the Sanctum and show one last thing. So again, can't collect these organs that I already have. The last thing is finally seeing Noah did a good job on the bone clam. So she's the one who did the design for it. Looks awesome. And then the other thing she did was the new dirty bubble, which is right here. Very frightening looking. It's transparent right now. We can see its eyes are coming around, and that's how we know where it's going to be looking and where it's going to be detecting the players from. So if it spots us, then I'll just go ahead and get spotted on purpose. Come on. Oh. Then it makes an interesting face. There we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. So the funny thing about this is that if I go through the portal, then he actually... Oh, I think he took a bone from the bone clam. But right now he's kind of bugged because he actually goes through into the Sanctum. But it was really interesting seeing him here and how he kind of floats through the walls and stuff like that. So maybe there's potential here in terms of spawning and having the dirty bubbles patrol in this kind of maze-like area where you can't necessarily see what walls are going to come from around, but it takes you by surprise instead. It could be interesting. But yeah, so I'll end it here. Devlog's getting kind of long, but yeah, game's coming along.